If you've ever stood in line at TSA responsible for yourself and your 2 children, even if they're big enough to carry their own suitcases, you know the stress of that moment. There's people behind you, in front of you, guards everywhere, and you have to rush through to make sure everybody's good and your bags don't get stopped and that you can make it to your flight on time. If hearing about that moment just stresses you out, this video is for you. We're going to talk today about how to simplify the airport process using TSA PreCheck or Global Entry and how to get it for free so that the airport part of your travel experience doesn't feel quite as daunting. I'm Tiffany, and on this channel I talk about how widowed parents like us can travel more and with less stress so that traveling feels like something that's feasible for you as a means of relief in your widowhood journey. So like I said, today we're going to talk about one of the simplest, cheapest, and easiest upgrades you can make to completely change your airport experience. I'm going to show you exactly how to get it for free, and I'm going to try to convince you that it's totally worth it. When you lose your partner, you also lose your travel partner and the helper in those situations. It's really nice to have a second set of hands when you're managing kids through security, but you're not always going to have that. Sometimes you'll travel with friends and family, that'll be great. Sometimes you're going to want to go on your own, so let's just make it a little easier. TSA PreCheck really changed everything for us. What used to be long lines, which causes frustration and tension already with the kids, is now usually about a 10-minute process to get through security. Shoes stay on, belts stay on, laptops stay in the bag, which is a big deal because I'm pretty sure, like me, your kids probably have some sort of device that they're bringing for the flight, and it just makes everything go way smoother. And it is my belief that the agents in TSA PreCheck line are a little more easygoing because they're not dealing with as many stressed travelers. Now, global entry is something additional, and if there is even a slight remote chance that in the next 5 years you will travel internationally, I would highly recommend going that route. I'm going to show you the differences between the two and try to help you decide. I hope you'll choose global entry because it includes TSA PreCheck, so to me it's really a no-brainer. You might as well plan for some international travel, even if you can't see it for yourself right now. And if you do choose global entry, you only have to do this once, not twice, so it really feels worth it. This is exactly the kind of thing that I talk about in my program, the Travel More Method for Widows. It's this little minutia, it's the bigger things like which cards to apply for and how to actually book your flights using the points that you have. If you're interested in joining us, we would love to get on a travel clarity call with you, apply to join, and hopefully we can walk through all of this together. It's just nice to have somebody to bounce these ideas off of, and that could be me. The link is in the description, but don't worry, I'll remind you before we wrap up today. Okay, let's talk about the money because I know that's kind of what you're here for. TSA PreCheck costs between $78 and $85 depending on the enrollment provider. Global Entry is a flat $120 fee. But here's the thing. As of this month, the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, which is my favorite beginner card for everybody anyway, has now added a credit for TSA PreCheck and Global Entry if you just have that credit card. The annual fee on this card is only $95. They're giving you a $120 credit to get Global Entry for free for 5 years for yourself and your children. Even as a just in case, this is really a no-brainer. I have been sort of pushing people to get this card anyway, and now I'm like, everybody should have this card in their wallet. Now, the way these two programs handle your kids slightly differently. So for TSA PreCheck, kids 17 and under can come through PreCheck with you. Kids 12 and under just come with you. The PreCheck indicator doesn't even need to be on their boarding pass. For teens 13 to 17, they need to be on the same reservation as you, and the PreCheck indicator needs to appear on their boarding pass. Now for Global Entry, kids under 18 are actually free when they have a parent who's already paid for Global Entry. You go and apply, you apply for your children as well, they don't have to pay. Everybody does get their own separate Global Entry number and has to have their own interview, but for that $120, you get yourself and I think up to 6 kids. To actually apply for TSA PreCheck, you're going to go to tsa.gov/precheck. To apply for Global Entry, the link is here. Otherwise, you can just Google Global Entry application and make sure you are on a .gov website. TSA PreCheck is great for those of you who are traveling domestically, especially if you have children that you're planning to bring along. It simplifies the process, you get through security so much easier and simpler, and it is a low cost. Global Entry is excellent for those of you who are planning to do any sort of international travel at all in the next 5 years because it also includes TSA PreCheck. So you do the one application now, you get all of these benefits, and you get TSA PreCheck benefits as well. When you're re-entering the country after a long trip internationally, there is nothing better than getting in the global entry line and being able to essentially walk straight out of the airport instead of having to wait in a line that could take you hours with exhausted children or your exhausted self. Solo parenting, especially as a widow, is hard enough. Emotionally, it's difficult, and logistically, it can be difficult. So do yourself a favor and set yourself up for success in the future by applying for one of these 2 programs. The hard part about it is the in-person interview. Global entry interviews can be a little trickier to get and take a little bit longer. So you might as well start now so that when you're ready to travel, it's already taken care of. I know you don't want to add another appointment to your calendar. I totally get that. This is the kind of thing that just kind of stinks in widowhood, but I really do think it's worth this little effort. These are the kinds of things we do together that make travel feel less draining and more doable inside of my program, the Travel More Method for Widows. I'd love to be that person that walks alongside you as you manage all of this on your own, most likely for the first time. Or if you've been traveling for a while as a widow and you'd like to do it more affordably, I will work on that with you as well. Grab the link below, apply to join, and I hope to see you on a travel clarity call sometime soon. Otherwise, I will see you right here next week. Bye.